My name is Kim, and I'm a champion for change.
My name is Lucy, and I am a champion for change.
My name is Ray.
My name is Julia.
My name is Marcus.
My name is Ryan.
My name is Kay. My pronouns are she and her, and I am a champion for change.
CNIB Foundation presents Champions for Change, Top 5 Tips for Self-Advocacy. What is self-advocacy? Self-advocacy is about building relationships, knowing your rights and responsibilities, problem solving, listening, and persevering. Tip number 1, your voice matters. If no one advocates to improve an issue, then nothing will change. The biggest changes often come from the littlest beginnings.
Ryan Hui. I think I would tell someone that said one voice couldn't make a difference is that you always start something with a spark. A fire starts with a spark. So you need that one voice, and it does make a difference.
Julia Ferguson. Someone who's new to self-advocacy, I'd say just for sure speak up and let people know what you're needing, even if you're not sure at first how to self-advocate. It's better to speak up than not to speak up. And by doing that, you'll quickly learn what works and what doesn't. And maybe you know other people who have been self-advocating that could give you some advice.
Tip number 2, ask for what you need. You have the right to ask for the help and resources that you need. Be clear about what you're asking for and be flexible about solutions.
Ryan Hui. To someone that is embarrassed to ask for help, I tell them that you cannot be ashamed that you are a person with a disability or that you are a person with a visual impairment. There's been times where I've been afraid to disclose my disability on a job interview, and there was a typing test. And so they hand you a piece of paper and say, okay, you have to type this. But I couldn't read the piece of paper, and I realized that not asking for the accommodation or not letting them know that I was a person with a visual impairment probably cost me the job.
Okay, if you're feeling embarrassed, that's quite natural. When you're trying to ask for something you need, especially at the beginning. And I admit that although I'm quite a self-advocate, I've been doing this for a long time, there are times where I'm embarrassed to ask for what I need. But you need to try. Just try with something small and try again. And remember this, that we're all interdependent beings. Whether you have a visual impairment or not, whether you're sighted or not, nobody walks alone, especially in our very interconnected society.
Tip number 3, know your rights. As a self-advocate, it is important to arm yourself with as much information as possible. Learning about your rights and gathering information will help you to stand up for yourself and collaborate to find solutions.
Lucy Kawiche. Asking for help is one thing. Knowing what to ask for is a completely different beast. And I think that having an understanding of what options are available and what resources are available is a good way for you to get that started.
Kim Harbro, if I know my rights, then I can have a roadmap and say, okay, if I want to reach X goal, I know I have these rights. And that helps because I can be assertive.
Okay. Knowing my rights has made me a better self-advocate because I get more sophisticated about where to apply effort. And I understand who is the decision maker. So, for example, I won't get upset at the clerk in the municipal office where, I'm having difficulty with something. Like I had a neighbor once who was creating for themselves a little rooming house, and it was quite loud and so on. But I will talk to the city councilors. I will talk to the bylaw officers, things like that. So you learn where to apply your effort and you don't waste time or emotional energy in the wrong places. You also are able to get things done more effectively.
Tip number 4, practice. Like other skills, self-advocacy skills improve with practice. As you continue to self-advocate, you will learn more about how to express yourself, who to talk to, and how to work with others to find solutions.
Okay, advocacy is really like a muscle. It must be worked, must be practiced. And actually, you have to build up a certain internal wherewithal in order to do self-advocacy or advocacy for others. It requires you to kind of push out, like take up space in the world and make your voice heard. So it's important to practice.
Ryan Hui, when you're talking to a new self-advocate and you're talking about practice, you have to not be afraid or discouraged when you hear the word no, because more often than not, you're going to hear the word no, but knowing your rights and practicing and, bulking up on that knowledge will help you get to that yes.
Tip number 5, be assertive, not aggressive. Self-advocacy can be exhilarating, but it can also be exhausting. Take your time explaining the issue and remember that finding a solution requires collaboration.
Ryan Hui, there's a time and place to be angry and to be aggressive, but it's probably not when you're trying to tell somebody about your rights. And I understand it can be very, very difficult to do, but trust me, from just from former kind of situations, definitely being more assertive rather than the aggressive has granted me much more success.
Kim Harpro, I say it's very important to be assertive rather than aggressive, no matter if you're a new advocate or not, because some people will say, if one person says something aggressive, then people's opinions of blind people are going to be colored badly. And unfortunately, that's true. And I am guilty of sometimes getting angry and just saying, oh, I can't stand this anymore. But it's better if I don't do this because, then people will understand what I'm saying to them or what this new person is saying in a reasonable way, instead of just saying, what an angry blind person. They must all be like that. I was just trying to help. And generally they are.
Julia Ferguson. It's important to remember in a lot of these situations, the people that may be, for example, not knowing that your guide dog would be allowed in the building. Maybe they just haven't been educated enough, or maybe they just don't understand what the laws are around that. And try to keep that in mind when you're talking to them. The worst thing you could do is start up an argument and just start yelling at them and saying, you're wrong, I'm right. So in that case, it might be best to sort of step away for a few minutes until you've calmed down and then go back so you could talk calmly with them.
CNIB Foundation presents Champions for Change, Top 5 Tips for Self-Advocacy.
Funding for Champions for Change provided by Novartis.